Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you an alternative early game strategy known as the delayed start strategy for Conflict of Nations, or now Supremacy, World War III. So most of the time, when people will start a game, they will immediately begin sending their troops to attack another country, try to claim an AI country, or begin building up their stacks, and then attack on day 2 or 3. However, an alternative way to begin a game is actually to wait 4 to 6 days before attacking an opponent. Now, this is not super uncommon in-game, but is more seen at the high level, and is especially something that I think everybody should know to twist up their gameplay, especially depending on their starting country. For example, if you begin with France, waiting is probably not a very good idea. You're surrounded by pretty much half of the map in Europe. There's a very good chance somebody is going to attack you, so it is better to attack one of your opponents before they have the chance to get the first mover advantage on you. However, if you're sitting with Ethiopia, where you're only bordering one human country, it may be better to... So, if you're in a country like Ethiopia, South Africa, that doesn't need to immediately attack, here's why it might be better for you to wait a few days. When you wait and just build up your army, the countries around you will either be doing nothing if they're inactive, or the majority of active players will begin attacking other countries within the first 4 to 5 days. What you gain is, if you're not attacked, then you get to build up about double your troops within that time, especially if you're able to hit 2 to 3 rounds of mobilization of your infantry divisions in every single one of your cities. And if you keep good track of the map and the news, you can know which of your neighbors are already at war with another country, meaning you get to move on them when they're at their weakest and when you have double the starting army level of troops. This is extremely powerful because, sure, you're a few days behind at the beginning, but because you have such a strong army and are now attacking war-torn countries who have been fighting other people for days, you have the ability to expand extremely rapidly. It's my favorite strategy to use in Africa, especially because countries in Africa, or the players who typically pick Africa, will begin attacking everybody immediately. But then again, it's not the smartest thing if you're in Asia or Europe. It's definitely best for a country picked in Africa. So the main things that you're going to want to do is keep note of which of your opponents around you are active, inactive, high level, and something that you might want to do on day 1 or 2 is reach out to them or start a coalition with at least one of them. So now the second thing that you're going to do is secure your troops. First, you need to research your motorized infantry or any type of infantry troop that you want to use, though I'd recommend motorized infantry, especially since you have the time and don't need to rush with National Guards. And then begin building up your infrastructure. Put an army base in every single city, and then begin building your recruiting offices. I like a level 1 recruiting office in every single city. And then after that, push heavy on the arms industries. Try, if resources allow, for you to have an arms industry being built in every single city and a troop being mobilized in every single city at all times. That allows you can pump your troops, getting 10 to 15 new troops after you build up, because if you put an army base in every single city, you can build 5 troops per cycle. And if you get 2 to 3 cycles of troops, that's 10 to 15 troops on top of your additional ones, making your army extremely powerful. Then you need to solidify your core. Ensure that you're building as many arms industries as many of your cities as possible at one time, because it's very important, especially since you're not capturing cities off the back, that you can match the resource production of your opponents on day 4 to 5. Once you begin expanding, you're going to expand very rapidly and resources won't be an issue, but these first few days, since you're not grabbing other cities, build up your arms industries as much as possible so you can stay on top of producing your infantry and ensure that... Now, another thing that I want to note is that I didn't actually invent this strategy, obviously. It's something that I've been seeing used in games and just wanted to give an example to teach all of you. I just figured I would name it the delayed start strategy so I can reference it here, better teach you, as well as referencing it in future videos. There's really nobody to credit for creating this, as it's just been a strategy that people sometimes use, though it's definitely not the most common one, but it's a really strong strategy, especially for Africa, and I figured it'd be a great opportunity to coin it as a name, and then share it with everybody, teach people so everybody can use it, because it's a very good strategy, especially if you don't really like having to rush early. So another thing that's important to note, that during this period of a few days that you have to build up your army, that you need to be building up other portions of your military as well. Strike fighters will open on day 1 if you're in the European military doctrine, if you're in a game mode that does that. If not, they'll open on day 2. So if it's something that you want to be in your military and very important to you, begin researching it and building them up. Be preparing as you typically would prepare, because some people, they'll take this as the opportunity to step back and let their troops be built, but make sure that you're doing everything. Other than that, this video was on the shorter one. The strategy is very simple, so thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions for future videos, also leave those down below. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.